I'm Ryan Bertrand. You're watching The Ugly Inside.
It's official. Southampton have announced Mauricio Pellegrino as the new manager for the football club. And with Nick for the instant reaction. Let's start off then. Mauricio Pellegrino was attracted by the Premier League. He'd already managed there as an assistant under Rafa Benetiz and seems like a perfect fit for the football club.
Yeah, I mean, you know, my first reaction was not one of utter excitement, I've got to admit. But then again, I could say the same when Mauricio Pochettino, his fellow Argentinian, joined the club. But, you know, he's a little bit more experienced in England than we sort of assumed. You know, I mean, I'd forgotten or was unaware that he played 13 times for Liverpool as a player in the Premier League. And he had 2 years as Rafa Benitiz's assistant there. So he knows a little bit about the Premier League. So hopefully he'll speak a little bit of English as well, which obviously two of our last three managers didn't. I'm still a little bit, not underwhelmed, but I'm still a little bit worried. But I think that's more due to the fact that he's an unknown in this country as a manager. And, you know, his track record isn't great with staying at places very long.
Now let's look at the facts, as Rafa Benitez said many years ago, and the criteria of the new manager. I mean, from what we understand from our sources, the Saints wanted somebody that they can trust to buy into the 5-year plan and really invest their time into the football club. Now, Pellegrino's a manager who brings through the youngsters. He's done it at Alaves. He's done it across the world in South America and done very well at Valencia as well. So he's a strong character as well. He speaks fluent English, and I think, you know, he can be a great fit for the football club. And as you've been saying, Claude Puel never really put that authority on the team. I think Pellegrino can be the man to push us forward into the next bracket in the Premier League.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. I mean, you know, although I'm a little bit sceptical at the moment, you know, I'm perfectly willing to give him a chance. You know, he's going to have the playing squad to do that. It'd be interesting to see how some of the players react. And I mean, again, my slight disappointment is that I would hope that we go for someone with a little bit more of a name that would excite the players. But as I say, it's fear of the unknown a little bit. And, you know, that's just my worry. You know, we don't know what we're getting really from him in terms of experience at the sort of level we need him to.
It's almost echoes of us as Pochettino was, you know, nearly 5 years ago. We never really heard much of him, but, you know, 2 years later down the line, he'd done terrifically well now. He's at one of the top clubs in the country. That Pellegrino done very well with Alaves last season. Basically a relegation for the team. Got him to 9th in the table, although albeit only scoring 41 goals, conceding 46. So on paper, it looks like a good record. Got to a Copa del Rey final, but there's comparisons, a lot of comparisons to Claude Puel's season in the fact that he's got 9th in the table, a cup final which he lost. Yeah,
I mean, certainly. I mean, I see you broke the news there that Mauricio Pochettino's left Spurs because you said he's at a top club in the country. So that's an exciting moment for me. But all joking aside, you know, there are many comparisons to be drawn, you know. So, you know, when Mauricio Pochettino arrived, he was a manager who'd spent most of his time at Espanyol fighting relegation before being sacked mid-season, sort of 3 months earlier. You know, it wasn't, you know, it didn't look like the ideal fit for Saints then. So, yeah, you know, we're thinking outside the box, and that's what we're doing as a club. As you say, there's a 5-year plan. We want managers who buy into it. And, you know, though it would be exciting to get one of these managers, we've got to really think about it and accept that, you know, the likes of Jose Mourinho or someone like that wouldn't be a good fit for Saints because they're players or managers that need to come in and spend money. Whereas, as you say, it looks like Pellegrino could be a good fit, and I really do hope he is. I mean, as you say, for me, it's just completely the fear of the unknown. It's not like we know a lot about him. You know, he could almost walk round. He could have walked around St Mary's today, and people wouldn't have recognised him.
And as we said 12 months ago when we were doing this video on Claude Puel, we'll give the manager time. We'll get behind the manager, but it is a results business, and these reports really have been ramped up over the last couple of days. Frank de Boer apparently being offered the Crystal Palace job, and, you know, Pellegrino was odds on at 10 to 1 at some point, so as in put £10 on to win one back. So Pellegrino, let's give him time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's here. He's got to be given time. But as football always say, form is temporary, class is permanent. And, he's got the tools here to do it. And, I hope he succeeds. And that's what I'd say to people is there was one thing about last season, people were on Claude Puel's back before August was over. And, you've got to give the manager time, give the squad time. People have got what they wanted with Puel leaving. So let's give the man a chance, because as you say, there's many comparisons to be drawn with Mauricio Pochettino, and if he could be as successful again, which although saying that, Claude Puel was as successful as Mauricio Pochettino at the same position, but if he can do a good job here, then we march on. We've got every reason to be optimistic and pleased with this appointment.
And the good thing is for Pellegrino, he's now got, they wanted him to come in before the lads come back for pre-season training. He's now got a chance to go away to places like Austria and France, if they go ahead, of course, because that was put on hold. And also some of the transfers. Pellegrino will obviously put some thought into some of the transfers. Claude brought in PA and Buffal and Hassan last season. What sort of players do you think Pellegrino can attract? Because De Boer was a type of manager, big player, Dutch legend. He could have bought some top-class players, but I'm sure Pellegrino's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, what we've found over the last 3 years is that Southampton Football Club is about finding players and developing them, not just youngsters, but the likes of Dusan Tadic or, going back, Lovren, Van Dijk, all of these players, about finding players at good prices, getting, the benefit of them, and then unfortunately in some cases moving them on. That's the nature of the game, I'm afraid. And, it's the only way we can take on the big clubs. We can't take them on without, building in that find them and flog them mentality. We've got to do that because we haven't got the amount of sponsorship, the amount of support that those clubs have to match them in the transfer market. So we've got to do it our way, the Southampton way, not the Liverpool way, the Man United way. And this is looking the right fit for the club. I'm getting more optimistic speaking about it. I'm cheering myself up.
One thing though, Nick, please don't sing that song.
What one's? Oh, what's that?
The Southampton Way.
Oh yeah, I don't even know that song. I'm never in the ground early enough to hear it. I've never heard it. It's played at 5 to 3. I'm still 200 metres from the ground at 5 to 3. So, I wouldn't know it. So the first song I hear when I walk into St Mary's is a referee's whistle, and if I'm lucky, I'm on the terracing by then.
Excellent stuff then. Well, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Leave us your reactions to Southampton announcing Mauricio Pellegrino as a new manager for the 2017-18 season. Hopefully more seasons to come rather than just the 2 that some of his predecessors have had. Let us know your thoughts. Leave us your likes, your comments and subscribe for more. Say goodbye, Nick.
Goodbye, Nick.